guys, I thought I would show you something kind of cool that we do here at Meadowlark. What we do is we take all of our grounds here, all of our coffee grounds, and we take them to the city compost heap, so it doesn't go in the landfill, it goes back into the earth and is used for pretty stuff. So I'll kind of walk through that. Maybe I could show you kind of the cycle of how the coffee arrives and how it leaves Meadowlark. First of all, we get them in all these packages here, all the different coffee beans from Grounds for Change, which is in Paulsboro, Washington, and that's where they hang out until it's time to grind them. And then once they're out in the front there, we keep them here, we grind them in the grinder, and they go in there, and then we brew them in the brewer, and then they come out here to hang out with all the customers, and customers enjoy it and love tasting it. It's pretty cool. All of our coffees are fair trade, organic, and shade grown. We're the only coffee shop in Lincoln that does that, all those three different qualities. We have 3 different regulars, a decaf and a flavored, and it's pretty cool like that. We take these buckets, we have a whole bunch of 7-gallon buckets here, and we just lift them up, take them outside. So it's a pretty easy system. Every time we brew something, we just take it out. We just dump it out into the bucket, and then once a week I put it in my truck and take it off to the city. Alright, so what inspired me to do this was I was reading a book called Natural Capitalism by Paul Hawken, and he talks about closed loop systems, and my project for that book was to take every chapter and see how I could apply it to Meadowlark, and one of the things I came up with was this coffee ground system. See, all these grounds come from the rainforest, and then typically they end up in the landfill, but coffee grounds are totally biodegradable, same with the filters that you brew them through, and there's no reason why that should be going into the landfill. So I talked to the City Parks and Rec, and they agreed to allow me to dump all my grounds into their city compost. So what happens is everything that the bean is made of from the rainforest is shipped here to Lincoln. Eventually is shipped here to Lincoln, and then it is driven back to the earth here in the Prairie. And it's a system where it's cradle to cradle in a way, and it's more sustainable definitely than just throwing it in the landfill. Alright, so here we are at the compost dumping area. As you can see, we got a lot of compost there, and there's some less degraded stuff there. And I'm gonna go ahead and take these buckets here and dump them in.
Just don't forget the thing, 'cause we're taking our mist to the, we're drinking our whole fit to the, and we're taking our mist to the bank. Oh no.
I also add too that our cups currently are biodegradable, compostable cups. They have a corn-based sealant that degrades after a while with heat and a little bit of time. So that's something else that we do to take it from something that comes from the land and bringing it back into the land. And now I'm going to show you where this compost eventually ends up in the city garden, or one of the city botanical gardens. Here is the Lincoln Sunken Gardens. It used to actually be a landfill back in the 30s, and then it was converted into a garden. All of these plants here are used with compost made from our coffee. Let's see if I can show you some here. All this here is made with our coffee. You know, so the question is this really sustainable? And I would be hesitant to say that it is. I think it isn't a complete sustainable system, but it's a less harmful system than what a typical coffee shop would do. They'd usually just throw it in the landfill, as I've said before. And you know, you really get to see the bounty, and a lot of people come here during the evening and really enjoy the garden, so you're really benefiting the community by doing this. So there you go. The thing that makes this, you know, not exactly sustainable is the fact that it's kind of dependent on oil. You know, I have to drive this truck from Meadowlark, from my house to Meadowlark, and then to the compost place and back. And you know, sooner or later, that's just not going to work. You know, maybe what I could do then is maybe connect with other community gardens, which we already are. We have a lot of we are actually already connecting with community gardens, which I have a blog about that, and I'll have a link in the description. But another thing too is coffee is inherently a global commodity, which necessitates oil to do it. So you know, sooner or later, Meadowlark is going to have to become a tea house with locally grown teas and things like that. So that's in the future for our store. If we're ever going to survive, then it has to be that. It has to be like that. Anyway, take care.